So let's unpack the political situation across the country. We're joined on the program by political analyst Mr. Ejide Ojo, joins us virtually from the nation's capital. Mr. Ojo, you're welcome to the program. And I'll just get right into it. It's been described as the season of defections across states now. We've seen Governor of Delta State defecting alongside his other leaders in the state, even though they have concerns that some of them have not even registered for the APC properly. We just saw one in Cross River State, Governor Hope Uzodimma asking Southeast leaders to come to the APC so they will be marginalized in his sense. So speak to us, is this a thing that we should now get used to, really, or is there something more playing out here?
Kayode, good afternoon. Thanks for inviting me on your program. It's our new normal. It's our new normal, and it's been like that for quite a while, since 1999, under this Fourth Republic. We see this pilgrimage to the ruling party after every elections and preparatory to new general elections. We see all of this happening. But it's not something that we should celebrate, because this is a slide towards autocracy and dictatorship. When you are endorsing a one-party system, in quotes, and when we say one-party system, we are not here saying that only one party is registered. We are talking about a dominant de facto one-party state. This is what I weighed in on in my column in the Punch newspaper last Wednesday. And I said we are already a de facto one-party state. Quite unfortunately so, because we have 19 registered political parties. But then, before you blame the IM for wickedness, you have to first blame the mother hen for exposing her children to the danger. I mean, before you blame the hawk for wickedness, first blame mother hen for exposing her children to danger. Why I'm saying that is that if the opposition political parties have put their house in order, if they have done thorough house cleaning and housekeeping, if they have been able to maturely and resolve their internal wranglings, leadership crisis, peradventure there will be no ground for this mass defection that we are seeing. Unfortunately, almost all political parties in Nigeria are battling with their own internal intrigues and leadership crisis. Is it NMPP? Is it Labour Party? Is it PDP? Is it even the APC itself is having its own issues, just that they are able to paper over it. And the fact that, in Nigeria, nobody wants to be in political Siberia. Everybody wants to be in political Saudi Arabia. They want to be where influence peddling, reigns, where they can get appointments, contracts, where they can get the re-election. And we know that the election season is fast beckoning. So, again, it's our new normal, but it's quite unfortunate.
Oh dear. And this is happening amidst projections by the World Bank, for example, that in the next 5 years, more Nigerians will fall into poverty. In fact, there's a projection that by 2027, that there will be more poor people in Nigeria than what we have today. So by the World Bank. 2027, incidentally, is a target for a lot of politicians to get re-election, and that's why there's a lot of movement here and there. So for the people, their own, what they need is just basically fix the economy, fix security and all of that. But for the politician, it would appear that their own primary need is political alignment and re-election. The need of the people appears secondary here. Or is it also primary for the politician, these issues that the people have? Because it doesn't look like it, Mr. Ojo.
Well, it doesn't look like, but it is. It's about their own survival. Daily survival too. Many people cannot survive outside of politics. I recall the late Abubakar Rimi, former governor of Kano State, who said he has so many political mouths to feed and he cannot afford to be in opposition. And that is the truth. Politicians have also aides, dependents, and they cannot fend for those aides, those also people who daily trot to their homes and offices from their meager salary. So they have to be where they could get contracts, make more money to satisfy. Because I don't know, Karen, if you have ever visited the home of a serving members of the National Assembly or even State House of Assembly or governor, you find that even in fact, I wonder how they cope because there is a law to corruption, the kind of dependency that the system has. And I'm not saying, maybe it's a chicken and egg thing. If they have not made poverty an article of faith for the ordinary citizen, perhaps there will be fewer number of dependents on them. But the reality, the sad reality is that even as a local government councillor or chairperson, before you wake up at 6, there are on maybe 10, 20, 50 people waiting for you with complaints about how to pay their children's school fees, how to pay their rent, how to their wife that is sick and all of that. And you are expected as a politician to take care of those needs. So they themselves are affected by this poverty projection. But then who do you blame? You blame the system that has pulverized us, that has made everybody to turn to a beggar, whether it's a decent beggar or a poor beggar. The bottom line is that many of us are begging to survive. Many of us are living on loans. Many of us are in debt. And we don't even have to wait to 2027. All those projections are just here. For me, it's neither here nor there because every day more people are dropping into poverty line in Nigeria. Every day, many people could no longer pay their rent. They can't sponsor their children in schools. They cannot feed.
Oh dear, we'll try to reconnect with Mr. Jide. I was making a point about the projections by the World Bank that, well, we don't have to wait till then. It's happening on a daily basis, and I imagine that's what would then become the culmination by 2027. But Mr. Ojo, we have you back now, so please you can land on the point you were making.
So what I'm saying is that we don't even have to wait till 2027. It's already with us, the poverty, the deepening poverty. In fact, we couple of years ago exited being the poverty capital of the world, but we are back there. We are back there. We have more people in Nigeria than in India, in China, in Malaysia, in Singapore now. And it's a sad reality.
So my
Because
question
when you
is,
look at the rising cost of living, the rising cost of living has impoverished every one of us, except
right,
the political class in any event,
and that's
maybe
my point,
because they have access
Mr.
to
Ojo.
resources.
And pardon me, and that's the point. So how do we align political interests with the interest of the people? Again, as I said, it looks like, well, you found a way to align it that, well, the politician's political interest is also to ensure that he's able to cater to those needs. And it's a very warped arrangement. But primarily, it looks like the politician's interest is survival, to get a second term, to always stay in power for different reasons, while the people's interest is also survival, but economic survival. So my question is, how do we make sure that the political interest pays off for the people, such that the system which you speak to works for for those people who, by the way, handed over the reins of power to the politicians to handle the system such that the system works for them?
Unfortunately, yes, we all surrender our own individual liberties or our sovereignty to, we outsource it to the political class through elections to go represent us. Unfortunately, what many of them are after is personal aggrandizement. And when you say, how do we make their interest to align with the people's interest, is by holding them to account. Media, civil society, have a lot of work to do. We just have to continue to call them out. This poverty is intolerable. We are at the brink of revolution. The risk of sounding alarmist. We all know that you don't. Revolution sometimes doesn't have to have any arrowheads. People are just tired and they just want to vent their anger on the system. We saw that happen in 2011 in as a springboard to Arab Spring. 2011 in Tunisia, then it spreads to Egypt, Algeria, and a couple of other North African countries. It's because people were tired of poverty, they were tired of rising cost of living and all of that. That's what prompted that revolution. And unfortunately, the Arab Spring You even saw what happened in Kenya last year, mid last year, over issue of finance bill, where the president Uhuru Kenyatta, President, what's his name now? Not Uhuru Kenyatta, the current president was trying to raise trying to raise revenue at the expense of the people, and people have to protest. And for a whole month, people on the streets of Nairobi are protesting. We have had our own fair share of protests and bad governance, and the last one that was held a couple of weeks ago. But it has not really gained traction. And if care is not taken, the way the political class is driving is steering the ship of this country, many people may have no option but to face up to their leaders in protest to say, we must live, we must breathe, it's our right. Section 14, subsection 2B of the Constitution talks about citizens, the primary purpose of government being welfare and security of citizens. And where that is absent, it's a call to anarchy.
I know that some of these politicians have said nobody forced them to join the APC. They did on their own volition, so there shouldn't be any fear of a one-party state. But on a final note, there are those who say, well, any politician who's able to leave, jump ship, should not be taken serious. Do you agree with that?
It's not about even being taken serious or not. It's about their own political survival. They care less about whether you took them serious or not. After all, party system is just like a special purpose vehicle through which they ride on to power, and that's their own primary interest. As you well know, as a political correspondent, as somebody who is very vast in the coverage of politics and elections, you know that in politics, the only thing that is permanent is interest, not friendship or enmity. And they care less about their own perspective. See, politics and morality are two different things. Politics and morality does not mix. They are like oil and water. And so they are just more concerned about their own political survival, how to win the next election, how to make sure that they have access to resources through appointments, through contracts, through re-election, through whatever means. It's a Machiavellian principle of the end justifies the means. Let's whatever. I mean, after all, they will give you handouts. It's a vicious circle. They abuse their office, make money, and then they give you peanuts on daily basis or monthly basis. Some will have it in the form of social investment program, where you say you are giving 25,000 to a family of 5 or 6 for 3 months, and then you think that is poverty alleviation. That is never going to be a poverty alleviation. 25,000 naira for a family, not just individual. Even if it's individual, you are giving them for 25,000. How much? What can that 25,000 buy? Then you give for 3 months, and then you say you have helped to alleviate poverty. That is not poverty alleviation. So what we need to do is to call them out, let them do things that can help individuals to survive on their own, to have self-employment, things like electricity, infrastructural development, good policies, let people be able, cost of doing business, reduce the cost of doing business. That way, you and I, ordinary citizens, can fend for themselves without having to wait for the handout
Indeed, Mr.
from
Ojo.
government institutions.
So ultimately, the politicians' interest must align with the people's interest for us to be able to say they're actually doing the work. We have to thank you so much. Yet another reminder, morality and politics do not mix. So we've been speaking with Mr. Jide Ojo, political analyst. Thank you so much for your time on the program. I understand last week was your birthday, and as a friend of the house, wish you the very best.
Thank you very much. It was on April 28th. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Sincere regards.
Thank you.